Anger test. I'll do anger test, orientation test, or the love test. Orientation, anger, love. Which one? You want orientation, you said there. The orientation, all right. Sexual orientation test. Here we go. You need to be able to see it better, though, because you can't see it properly for some reason. You want these questions. There you go. I'll tell you what as well. I won't answer immediately if you want to try and guess what I say. Do you want to try and guess what I say? Question 1, I identify as. Man. Next. Oh my God. I don't know if I should do this on the internet. Often fantasized. This is a bit of a weird one. This feels a bit naughty already. What's often? In the past 2 weeks. I mean, I thought about it today when we watched that video of Tess Daly. Next. Fantasized about sexual intercourse with a man. Honestly, I've not done that in the last 2 weeks. Next. Found a man attractive in the past 2 weeks. Do I have to name and think who? I mean, I imagine I probably have. There are some attractive men out there. Like me, I've seen a picture of me on the screen. I can see myself now, so there's one. I'm trying to think who, if I could name an example of like, oh, I was watching this and I found them attractive. Like sometimes you're watching a film with someone like Jude Law. Like for me, there's like a limited number of like style of like. But sometimes you like watching a film with someone like Jude Law, and you just think to yourself, like, you know, if I was in an arms race with him trying to win the affections of a lady, so I might as well just give up. He's like far more attractive than me, that Jude Law. You know, like, but I don't know. In terms of have I found them attractive? Like, oh, hello, look at you, saucy. Not so much in the last 2 weeks. I can't think of an example. So I'm definitely not going to say often. I don't think I want to say completely never, because I think there might, like in that example I've just given, I don't think I've watched a Jude Law film in the last 2 weeks, but I'm trying to think if there's anyone off the top of my head. And what level of attractive do you mean? Like how attractive sexually, or just they look good? That's a cool looking guy, you know. I can see why the ladies like them. Like there's a difference, isn't there, in like finding them attractive or like recognise. I'm just going to leave it in the middle. Next. Fantasized about sexual intercourse with a woman. Yeah, often. Next. Found myself wanting to have real life sexual intercourse with a man. No. Next. Found myself wanting to have real life sexual intercourse with a woman. Yeah, quite often. Next. Wanted to touch a woman intimately and or be naked in company. Well, that's the same, isn't it? Isn't that the same question? It's just a bit more detailed. Like, how are you going to be going about having sex with them if you're not going to be touching them and naked? I suppose you could keep your trousers on, like you could just poke it out through the fly. I mean, what I'm going to say the same often, yeah. I mean, how often in the last 2 weeks is often? Once a day? Twice a day? Like, how often is often? Found a woman attractive, quite often, yeah. Next. Found myself sexually aroused. Right, there's a more specific. That's a more specific than the found them attractive. No. I haven't got a wooder on because I've seen a man. Okay, going back to that question of attractiveness, the Justin Bieber video we watched yesterday when Justin Bieber was like up there with Puff Diddy, and I thought to myself when I was watching it at some point, like I can see why he had a successful pop career. I can see why Puff Diddy wanted to get him in his Ferrari, but didn't get a boner from it. Right, next. Found myself sexually aroused by a woman. Oh, now I suppose relatively often. Like, I'm not sitting here on the stream with boners, but like, you know, probably relatively often. 2 weeks. Next. Fantasized about non-sexual petting and or bodily closeness with a man. Fantasized about non-sexual. What's non-sexual petting? Fantasized about giving someone a hug. What? I'm doing it now, like now because I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, what's it like to? Like, I'm imagining giving someone like that's like a big lumberjack fellow, like a nice big hug, and him being a nice big hugger. I'm thinking about it now, and it's a nice hug in my imagination. That's quite a nice hug. I'm now thinking about us sitting watching something on the sofa, and he's got his big lumberjack cuddle on me. To be honest, it's all right. Like having a nice cuddle, which is what I imagine it's like for my dog when I give my dog a big cuddle. Like I'm the big one, and they're getting the cuddle with a man. I'm going to say never, because until they said it, I hadn't thought about it as a conceptual, like I haven't sat there thinking about it. But now I have thought about it. I'm not saying it's awful. Maybe I should spend more time thinking about it, what it would be like to give someone a big hug. Next. Wanted to touch a man intimately or be naked in front of the company of a man. No, but like it's funny, like the concept is different from sex now. I understand. Whereas before, when they said it about a woman, I was like, why do they differ? What? It's all the same. But now I understand it's not the same, is it? Because having sex with someone and being naked in their company, like you might get a thrill from being in the changing room and being naked in someone's company or touching them intimately. Like maybe there's a difference there. Now I understand that to be different. So, oops, I accidentally touched the microphone intimately then. Maybe there's something coming out. Wanted to touch a man intimately, never. Yeah, next. Entertain the fantasy of being in a long-term romantic. Yeah, all the time we keep talking about I need to get married and sort that out next. Sorry, the question was entertain the fantasy of being in a long-term relationship with a woman. Entertain the fantasy of being in a long-term romantic relationship with a man. I won't say never, I don't think. You know, I think I've conceptualized the concept. I don't know if in the last 2 weeks I have. No, okay, so we've got some friends who are gay and in a long-term romantic relationship, right? And me and my sister saw them recently and told me some news about them. And so during the conversation, I suppose at some point I thought what it would be like if I was in their shoes and that was happening to me. And I would either be with my whichever side of the partnership, you know, with my boyfriend in that situation. So, you know, I thought about, you know, I guess what's the word? Empathized with them in their situation. So does that contain the word fantasy? Like it's a fantasy in my mind, but I wasn't like sitting there drooling over it. It's just like I imagined it. I imagined it would be like that. I'll just leave that in the middle. I think maybe more never, but we'll finish. My sexual orientation is heavily heterosexual there, look. I'm not trying to jink, you know, I'm not trying to push it. Oh, you can't see it probably, look. I'm not trying to push it because I'm scared of being, like, more gay than straight or anything. I was just answering honestly, you know, really, I don't mind, you know, having a hug with a man or whatever, but, and I've kissed a boy in my life. Like, they didn't ask me if I'd ever kissed a boy. I'd have thought they'd have asked that, and I'd have said yes. But there we go. I'm not asexual either. I need to get laid. That's what that says. I wonder if that would count, because a lot of that was fantasy, yeah? So if you had like a sex partner and you did the sex to them all the time and it wasn't fantasy, would I look less heterosexual? That's a funny question, isn't it? Like, let's say, like, in the last 2 weeks I'd had loads of sex and then I wasn't fantasizing about it at all because I was doing it all the time. I'd have answered no to a lot of those questions and I'd have looked less heterosexual on the basis of having had more sex with a lady. So that would be a bad test. Let's do the love test as well, since we did that. 35 questions. 35 questions about love. Should have done this on Valentine's. I feel close to my loved ones when they help me pay outstanding bills that are stressing me out. What? What kind of a question is that? I feel close to my loved ones when they help me pay outstanding bills that are stressing me out. I don't have outstanding bills that are stressing me out. In the past, I've had a situation like that once when I was like a teenager and they gave me a credit card with my bank account and I went out and bought loads of records on it and then I was like, oh my God, I got this credit card bill, and I was stressed. It was a naughty thing I'd done, you know? But then after that, I cut the credit card bill in half, cut the credit card in half, not ever doing that. And I'm not stressed about outstanding bills, really. Like, it's a weird one, because as well, I find that to be a question of finance, not a question of love. So I don't equate paying the bills with the love, but I do also understand that the people who love me have helped me financially over my life because they love me rather than because it's a financial investment. I'm just going to leave it in the middle. I don't really understand the question. I feel closer to my partner when they work hard to make sure I have a better standard of living. What? I mean, I feel like being sexist here and saying, oh, that's a question for a woman. The man goes out and earns the monies. But I would never think of my partner. I mean, I don't have a partner, but I've been in situations where I have, and their ability to earn money has never, like their desire to go out and work so that they could give me a better standard of living. I completely disagree. That has no bearing on how much I feel close to them. Next. I feel appreciated when my partner takes the time to discuss important decisions in depth with me. I feel like it's not just appreciated. I feel like that's something that partners do, and if they're not doing it, I'd feel cross. I'd feel like it was a basic. I'd feel like left out. I'd feel angry and upset if I was left out of important decisions if I had a partner. But appreciated when they do, no, I wouldn't feel specially appreciated. I'd feel like that was my sort of standard role. So neither agree nor disagree. Next. I feel loved when my partner shares what they appreciate about me. With me or with other people. And I feel loved. Yeah, I'm going to say actually, yeah. Like when someone says out loud something they like about me, I feel that they, are telling people or me what they like about me. I suppose that makes me easy to manipulate, doesn't it? Because if you say out loud, oh, I think you're great, then I'm like, oh, you think I'm great? Oh, and I just believe anything I hear. But yeah. I think obviously going on to whatever's going to come on next, the times I feel most loved are when people do things to show that they've heard you. Like I had this partner once that she, in so many ways, she was like quite perfect, but in some other ways she was just kind of not quite. But for Christmas she bought me this present, and like basically earlier in the year I'd mentioned that there was this football shirt that I wish I had, and it was from like when I was younger, and then she found it on the internet and bought it for me and saved it for Christmas and then gave it me at Christmas. And I was like, oh my God, you've like basically listened to something I said in conversation midway through the year, and you've bought me this wonderful present. Another wonderful partner that I had, the one from Italy, I don't like saying people's names, but you know what I mean, like, because we're on the internet, but the one from Italy, she gave me some really thoughtful gifts. And like the times where you realise that people have been thinking and logging it and remembering and caring, that, and then showing you, it doesn't have to be something expensive, but it's the thought that, when they say it's the thought that counts. And maybe it's not even about a gift, a physical gift, but those are moments where I've thought, that proves to me that you've been doing that thinking. I see it because I didn't realise you'd remembered this thing and bought that, those things, like the thought that counts things are when I feel most appreciated, I suppose. But yeah, I'd agree with this one. I feel loved when my partner shares what they appreciate about me, yeah. I feel loved when my partner takes time to discuss my future goals with me. Yeah. I feel good about myself when my partner praises my accomplishments. Yeah, and the flip side of that is I'd feel bad when my partner disparages them. Or, is negative. Praises the other side makes me feel bad. So I think, yes, I do feel good. But it's not like I feel amazing all the time when they do that. Eventually it becomes less. Sometimes I get a bit embarrassed by it, and it's like, calm down. I'm not that amazing. Like, so I don't need it. But next, I feel loved when someone close to me volunteers to help me with a task that is challenging for me. Agree. Next, I appreciate it when my partner does the chores around the house. Well, yeah. Like, who doesn't appreciate not having to do things that are chores that they don't want to do? Like, I massively appreciate it. Not just my partner, but when anyone does it. Like when I have to do it, when it's my turn to do the chores, I don't. It's not that I get eggy, but I don't enjoy doing it. Like there are no chores that I think, yes, let's get on with that. The only one that I don't mind doing is the dishwasher, really. Like I don't mind putting things in and emptying the dishwasher. It doesn't really bug me. But taking the bins out, that annoys me. I have to take time out of my life to fuck around with dirty rubbish. I don't like doing it. I mean, obviously I'll do it, but like, if someone's going to say to me, I'll take the bin out for you, I'll be like, yeah, I appreciate that massively, thank you. Do you want a cup of tea or something? Like, I'll do something else that I find less of a hassle, like just a little thing. You sit there, don't get up, I'll make you the cup of tea. I don't mind messing around in the kitchen. Like, well, you can't sit there, you've got to take the bins out. Anyway, agree. Next. I know that someone thinks of me kindly when they give me a considerate gift, but also what I just said then about the bins, if someone were to say to me, I don't like taking the bins out either, it's a real chore, and like we were to assess who hates it the most, I just do it, I'll do it then, fuck it, you sit down, you do the cup of tea, or don't do the cup of tea, I don't care, it's only taking the bins out, it's not going to kill me, but also I'm not going to rush to do it, so if someone does it before me, I'm just going to let it go. I know someone thinks of me kindly when they give me a considerate gift. That's what I said earlier, isn't it? That's exactly what I said earlier. I knew that would come up from reading the questions. I just feel like that is exactly, I'm going to strongly agree. And I think that goes two ways as well, is I try and give people considerate gifts sometimes to show that I think of them kindly. It's not always easy, because you can't always just go on Amazon and find the considerate thing you want. But I try, I try. I like it when my partner spoils me with gifts. I want to say agree, but I don't agree with that. It's not spoils me with gifts. I like being spoiled with time and affection in the right doses, in the right times when I want it, which is just a bit narcissistic, I suppose, in a way. But like sometimes someone might shower me with affection, time, gifts, and I just say to them like, look, can you give me some space? I'd rather watch Match of the Day with my feet up, and like I'm not into this right now, unless it's actual sucking me off. Like, I don't want to just stop massaging me and messing with me. I just need a bit of space. Like sometimes I feel like that in myself, in my skin. Like, in the early stages of a relationship when you see each other quite a lot after you've done the early bit, and I feel like sometimes look, we've seen each other quite a lot for the last 3 days, can I now just have a couple of days on my own? And it's day by day, at times by times, if I'm in the wrong frame of mind, then I don't want to be pestered, so spoiling me with gifts would not always be the best thing. It's nice to get things. It's nice for someone to say, here's something, have that. I'd be like, thank you. But it made me feel a little bit embarrassed and a little bit like I'm not giving enough because I'm receiving too much. So, yeah, spoiling me is a bit, I think everyone does like being spoiled, so to speak, but when it gets excessive and consistently excessive, I'd find it a bit uncomfortable. So I don't strongly agree with that. But of course I agree, because if someone's going to like regularly and routinely get me little gifts, I'm going to find it cute and nice, and I'm going to enjoy that, yeah. I feel loved when I receive a thoughtful gift. Yeah, strongly agree with that, like I said. And it's strange, because I guess it's in my psyche somewhere that the gift, the present, but like I said, it's not about the money, it's about the idea that you can see, like, physically evidenced the thought, because someone could say to you, oh, I remember that you like that film, and you think, oh, you remember I like that film, that's nice. But if they bought you that film on special edition Blu-ray and gave it you as a gift, you'd look at it and you go, oh wow, look, you remember that I made that, I like that film. It's like the weird sort of difference between the physical manifestation of the thought and the actual thought. There is actually something, just being a human, being a human here, but unwrapping it and seeing it as a surprise as well, that whole thing. When a thoughtful gift is something I enjoy, yeah. Next. I feel closer to people who take the time to show me that they value my opinion. I'm sorry, what? I feel closer to people, or I love them more, because it's about love, who take the time to show me that they value my opinion. I don't know how they would show me they valued my opinion. And I don't know about taking the time. It's like a double-barreled question. Actually, that's a really weird one, because I've got like really close friends who make their own life decisions, yeah? And we've talked about them sometimes. Like a few big things, getting married, or like thinking about having a kid, but like, stuff like that are things that, you just support your friends through, they're not asking me my opinion, should I or shouldn't I? Like, we're all making our own decisions, you know. So I suppose that's my friends rather than my lover or loved one, you know, so to speak. And that's what this is about, isn't it? Or is it general love, familial love as well? I feel closer to people who take the time to show me they value my opinion. And how would they do that? I suppose by asking for it and listening carefully to it and then doing what I say, I suppose. And none of those things are dramatically important to me unless I was in a relationship with someone and they asked me something like big about something, and then I gave them all my thoughts on that. And even then, like, I'd respect what they want to do with it more than having my, I don't have to run their life for them. Like, their opinions on what they want to do are their opinions, and I should support them. Yeah, so I'm just going to leave this one in the middle, but I'm a bit confused by it. I appreciate it when my loved ones let me unburden myself of my worries when I'm feeling down. Yes, agree. I find these are easier to answer the opposite. It annoys me when people don't let me unburden myself of my worries when I'm feeling down. Like, there are times when I will say stuff and someone will say, you're moaning or you're complaining.
It's raining again. I couldn't be happier.
Big up Snippies.
I value your opinion.
Thank you.
Superchuffer owes 10 hugs.
See, that's a thoughtful gift, and it's nice to hear that you value my opinion. So I actually should go back and agree more, because I thank you. It's nice to hear that you value my opinion.
Follow, ladies. Let go and feel less. We came to take one.
Thank you. Thank you for the tippies. I hadn't thought about it deeply, but someone telling it me made me feel good, so... Yeah, it's interesting. I appreciate it when my loved ones let me unburden myself my worries. As I was saying, yeah, I think the opposite is definitely true. I like to sometimes moan and complain, and I guess it's unburdening myself and my worries. And sometimes my loved ones will say, and then when I say loved ones, I mean my family rather than like my romantic partner. But maybe a romantic partner in the past has thought this and just not said it. But like, they will say, I don't want to hear this. It's complaining. It's moaning. And I say to myself, agreed. I'll stop moaning. I'll look at the positives. But inside, I think, I'd rather be able to have a good moan about this. And it doesn't mean that I want to do anything about it. I know this is human behaviour. It's like, give me a good 40 minutes of moaning and then we can have a pizza and shut up. And I won't talk about it again. I just needed to get it off my chest sometimes. A lot of the time, therapy's a bit like that. You start off with the 20 minutes of moaning and then you get into something and find something out and talk for an hour. But, have you seen Val's post? No, not yet. I will do after I finish this quiz. Big ups. Big up Snippies, house chores, so no time to chat. If only there was someone to do the chores for you, like this quiz suggested. Then maybe you'd love them more if they did the chores. The quiz sort of made me think about that, and I'd never thought about it before. I'd never thought about whether people would love me more if I did more chores, or whether I'm underestimating how much... I don't know whether I should show people who do the chores in my house more that I love them, or I'm underestimating how much that is something I value or something. But that's made me think about it so much more than I had before, because it was on the quiz, the love quiz. I didn't think chores equated to love, but enjoy doing your chores. I hope you love them. Well, you love the cat, so that's why you're doing the cat box. So it does tie in. I'm sure the cat loves you for doing the cat box. This little chuffer, she won't go in the cat box sometimes, even though it's there when it's raining. It's like the principle of it raining has put her off going entirely. I worry about her sometimes. She's a bit of a nutter. You're a bit of a nutter, aren't you? Like, you just were then when I picked you up, giving it all the complaining, and now you're all happy. Yeah? Jumped off when I tried to give you a kiss. You know what you're doing. Right, I appreciate it when my loved ones let me unburden myself. Yes, agree. Next. But also I appreciate the boundary of someone saying, I don't want to hear you complaining, let's move on to something positive. I like physically being with the people I care for. Agree. Massive agree. Sometimes I want my space, but it doesn't mean I want you to go away and just never come back. Like, I can quite happily have my space on the other side of the room, or in a different room, or in the shower, or in the shed. When I get in the shed, I get my own space. I get my own space in the shower when I have my shower in the morning. But no, you know what I mean, though. Like, I do like physically being with the people I care for, even if it doesn't mean we're sat in the same room the whole time talking. I like them being around. I do. And like it does mean physically being with them as well. And that counts, like this is a love test, but it also counts family and friends. Like I can't control my family or friends, but I can't control my friends like going off and around the world and stuff. But if I could choose where I want to hang out and who I want to be with, family and friends, people I love, yeah, I like being with them physically, like in the same space. Yes. And I'm just saying this, I get a lot of time on my own with not people around to do, like now I'm doing the streaming, there's people in the family in the house I can go and hang out with, I'm doing this. But it doesn't mean I don't like it. No, I definitely do like it. In fact, you know, family parties, when you get the wider family together, they're always really good, aren't they? So yeah, I do like it, yeah, definitely. Next. I enjoy it when my partner creates special moments. This is 15 of 35, I need a break. I'm only halfway through. How you doing in chat, you chuffers? We'll see what Val's saying in a minute. You're all getting feisty for this, right? Cat doing potties in the fresh cat box before I'm finished. They're saying, like, that's a thank you. And they've been like, I've been waiting for that. That's a good one. I like that. They're like, they're like, thanks. Just take a little minute. I think they're saying, like, you know, I like having it, like, it's like having a fresh bed, isn't it? I think they like it. So the minute it's there, they're like, oh yeah, great, fresh litter, let's get in there. I think they enjoy it, they like it. And it's almost like a thank you as well. The other day, this is a great story with Marlo. This is a lovely story with Marlo. He's someone that I love. Oh, bless. My little doggy. I don't want to say that too loud on the internet in case Peter Folding murders him. But the other day, right, so he went up on the work surface. He's not that tall, he's a little chuffer, but he got up on the work surface because there's a bit of food on the side, and he got it, and it's naughty, that is, that's a, you know, a telling off in general. Hey, you, what are you doing? No, naughty. That's a telling off. But I was so shocked by it because I'd never seen it from him. And of course, Navin, the previous dog, the big rescue dog, he used to do it all the time. And you don't go in and push him, you know, you get trouble. Like, I had to verbally and physically, like, communicate that space. But he would come in and nick stuff off the side and jump up on the thing. Hey, what are you? Like, you know, a lot of that. And it was like a sort of running battle, a lot of fun in some ways. Because once he had a whole loaf of bread, and another time he had a whole packet of butter. So you can't take it once he got it. Like, he'd come up and steal things. Anyway, Milo came up and he chipped a little thing off the side, and I just stood there and I saw him doing it, and I just watched in like stunned surprise as I watched him do it. And as he took the thing off, I went, hey you, like, he had his little, it was just a little chippy or something, it wasn't big, so he ate it, and I went, hey you, come back here, and he's a smart little bugger. I said, come back here, and he came back here, and I said, show Mummy what you did then, because my mum was in the kitchen. I said, show Mummy what you just did then. Show Mummy what you did. And I didn't tell him what he'd done. I said, show Mummy what you did. I repeated it, you know, and he got up on the, there wasn't any food this time. He just got up on the side and was like, I got up on the side. And he showed me what he'd done. He knows he's smart. He, like, that's a different level of smartness. Not do a sit, but show me what you just did. And he just repeated the behaviour. And then I was like, oh my God. So I got a little bit of food and I put it on the side and I said, get up and get it. Get up and get that. And he got up and got it. And then I told him, I said, that's naughty. Like, it's just a bit of a bad dog training thing to do. But he's smart, so I'm not telling him off. I'm saying, listen, that's naughty, but you're a good boy. So I don't want you to do it. No, behind the line. But you are a clever boy. You're a smarty boy. It reminded me so much. I actually gave him a little cuddle and I told him, this is what your Unky Nene used to do. So I don't know where you've learned that trick from, but I feel like his guardian angel, his Unky Nene, has been watching over him and has taught him a little naughty trick. That's naughty, but I was amazed by how smart he was to follow the command, show me what you did. Because he knows what I mean. Like, he knew what was happening and he knew what I meant, so he did it and he showed us. I got up on this, and there was no food. Like I said, he just got up on the side and went, like, you know, his little face, like, I know I'm being naughty. And I gave him a reward for showing me. Clever little boy. We went to the woods today, and he got all muddies. And like I said, I told you earlier that I'd flown the drone, So he didn't like the zzz of the drone, but he knows it's daddy's drone. He knows it's my thing, so he's not too scared. But then someone shot a gun or something. Like, it's either a bird scarer or a shotgun goes off, and he's just like stuck to my wellies. He don't want to leave me. He's like stuck to me. So I flew the drone around, and Marlo just sat at my wellies, sat there on my foot. I've got some footage of the woods, and I can show you that. It's not in the computer yet, but I'll probably do it for tomorrow. It's doxing myself a little bit because I do go to the woods once every few weeks. Like every week I'll go walking the dog, but I don't go to the same place every time. So like there's a theory that if you found out where those woods were, and you could because it's aerial footage of them, you could go and live in the woods for 2 weeks and eventually I'd walk past. So Peter Falding might murder me. So I don't really want to. I don't want to show my pets on the internet in case Peter Falding murders them, and I don't want to go in the woods regularly and film it in case Peter Falding murders me there as well. So I've got to be careful. But if anything happened to any of my pets or me, the internet would go mad for it, and then everyone would get like all the people that did it would get exposed, and their lives would be ruined. So they better be careful not to do that, because we've got loads of internet friends, and the internet did a whole documentary about do not kill people's cats. So. Oh yeah, big up Sandrast Wolf. How are the kittens? How are the kittens? I don't want to scare everyone about their pets. It's just I was making a bit of a joke there, but like obviously there are nutters about, aren't there? With this whole, it's weird. Like honestly, it's not the internet equals nutters, but before I did the Nicola Bully stuff, we had a bunch of people watching my streams. Not loads, like hundreds, not thousands, but like a bunch of people watching the streams. Nobody came and did any trolling. Nobody was being horrible. You got the occasional random troll who was just in there to say boobies or poo-poo, but like nobody was being horrible. And then we did the Alan stuff, the Nicola Bully stuff, Eddie. Like between all them, I can't believe that to this day there's still problems with trolling. Like, and it's just come from between all them. Peter Falding now might be in the mix in that count. You know, Luke might be someone who now trolls me while he's sat on the toilet. Like, it's just between them. And I literally, with all the people that I make videos about, I have never gone on their channels and left a comment or done a troll. Like, I just don't do it at all. But like, and I'm not complaining because I get trolled. I'll ask. In fact, I'm not really subject to much. I'm just surprised about how much of it goes on in the community still. And I still get the occasional comment, and you know, see a bit of weirdness. But do I want one? Potentially, yes. I'd have to ask the family. I've been petitioning for it. I've been murmuring about it. But the last conversation we had, apparently Shakima wouldn't like it at all. But I don't know. I think she might. At the moment, she seems pretty much like the Queen of Sheba, sat there with a big smiley face on, having messed me about and had a big cuddle. She seems pretty happy in herself right now. Like, it might be that while, you know, I think while we're out sometimes she would like a play friend, and it would help her to dominate the space in the territory. And it would serve, like with the age cats live and stuff, it would serve as an overlap, wouldn't it? And it might give her some enjoyment in life to have a little, you know, kitten friend. But the other side of that is that cats can be a bit, you know, self-absorbed and territorial, and she might feel really fucked off with having some other cat in her space all the time, eating her food and messing about and pestering her. So I think with Omar, she felt effed off a bit, but at the same time, after he's gone, she misses him messing about and chasing her, and, you know, because he did used to chase her, didn't he, Minky? He used to chase you, but you loved him, so she misses that. But this way, it'd be a bit the other way around, because she'd be the bigger cat for a bit until it grew. I enjoy it when my partner creates special moments, but I have to refer to the family, of course. All these decisions go through everyone else before they, you know, I'm the lowest rung on my family's ladder. They're all going to go to the event. Well, after they've been, I'll tell you where they went. It's, you know, one of these things that goes on in the country. Imagine it's like, I don't know, like the Royal Show or something. They're all going to go to the Royal Show, and I'm going to stay home and look after their dogs. I'm that one in the family. I enjoy it when my partner creates special moments, dates, and evenings for us to enjoy together. Yes, agree. I mean, obviously we're including sex night in that, aren't we? Question 15. Special moments, dates and evenings. I mean, this feels like, I'm not being sexist, but I feel like that's my responsibility as a man in a relationship to say, hey, I'm taking you to a restaurant tonight or on Friday or whenever. You know, I've organised something nice for you. Here's a special moment. Like, I feel like I do that. So having that done to me by my partner, I'm kind of indifferent actually, because I feel like I do that. But it would be nice, I suppose. Book out Saturday, I've got something special lined up for you. But then there's part of my, I don't want to use the word autistic because I'm not trying to make a joke about autism. I take it quite seriously, that sort of stuff. But like part of my, like, sort of stubborn desire to do things my way at my time, I might think, oh, you've done a special evening for me, but I wanted to stream, or I'd planned to do this, or, you know, that's not my time. So maybe that's a chauvinistic aspect of feeling like I'm the man, I choose the dates, and I do, like, because maybe my partner might feel like that, and then they have to go along with what I want to do when I want to do it. So it's weird, that is, but yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah, I'm going to say I enjoy it. If someone said to me, hey, you know, we're going to the zoo on Saturday, or, well, not the zoo because I'm vegan, it's not the best example, but whatever, something fun for us to enjoy together, or sex night, I'm going to be up for that. So yeah, next. I enjoy it when my partner takes the time to understand my hobbies and interests. Like, I think, yeah, because they're so intertwined with my life, so it's hard to take me without them. Like, sometimes it's not like separate hobbies, is it? It's like who I am. So yeah, but at the same time, I don't require someone to play cooperative video games with me, or you know, if I was dating someone and they didn't want to be on the stream, that's not a problem. I mean, my stream's my work rather than my hobby, but I don't know. Do you know what I mean? There's not many things where I'd say, oh well, if you don't like doing that with me, we can't be together. I'll go to the football and you don't want to come. Oh no, right, that's it then. We can't be together. Like, that doesn't bother me at all, to be honest. It would be nice if they liked it. What I don't like, the flip side, is if someone takes the piss. Oh, you just football. No one cares. Football's rubbish. You just, like, who cares anyway? They're just bunch of blokes kicking a ball around. And then the same girl who said that to me would watch Coronation Street religiously, and that'd get my egg. Because I'm not dissing Coronation Street, but you won't let me watch the football because you think it's just people kicking a ball around. But Coronation Street's not just a bunch of people pretending to be other people talking. So if it's big ups JJK and you're autistic, yeah. Like, when I was saying that earlier, like, I'm not saying, I feel like, you know, we've all got some aspects of, like, parts of a spectrum maybe, and sometimes I feel a bit like extra eggy if someone takes me off my track, if that makes sense. So someone like my sister might have sometimes said to me, oh, you know, you're on the spectrum, but I'm not trying to, like, you know, be weird about autism or nothing, am I? But I enjoy it when my partner takes, and I'm not, like, you know, I'm not saying I'm autistic or I'm not using it in a flippant way. That's what I enjoy it when my partner takes time to understand my hobbies and interests. So agree, to be honest, yeah. Like, in fact, I pick a partner who has some at least understanding or, like, similar sort of hobbies and interests these days, because I feel like, you know, I want someone who's, like, I say that, I'd also be happy with someone who's very chalk and cheese with me, as long as they were happy with me being chalk and cheese. But I do enjoy it, yeah. If someone's interested to learn and, you know, interested to be interested in something, and I'm doing it and they're doing it with me, that's fine. I don't know if it's strong agree. I find it a really difficult question. Next. I know I'm appreciated when my partner shares their true thoughts and opinions with me. Yes, I know I'm appreciated, but if they're not doing that, then we've got a huge problem. Like, all I really want out of people, really deep down, like, obviously I want those true thoughts and opinions to be, I love you. I'd like to marry you. But if their true thoughts and opinions were, I don't love you and I don't want to marry you, I'd rather they fucking told me. Like, all I do myself is give people my true thoughts, and sometimes they're eggy at my true thoughts and opinions, but I will not pretend otherwise. So all I want is honesty. But I know I'm appreciated when someone is honest with me. Appreciated? I find that really weird wording, because I just expect it, and when they're not, I find it a problem. So I don't know how much appreciated I feel. I'm going to leave it in the middle. I don't even I feel closer to my partner when we spoon. Well, physically, yes. Like, hello, yes. But after a bit, sometimes your arm goes numb, or like sometimes because of indigestion, I want to lie on the one side. I mean, I think it's about stages of a relationship and time and place. And it's not that you always have to spoon the whole time, always. But in principle, yes. And it's nice. So, I'm not going to disagree with that. Next. I feel secure in a relationship where my partner values my intelligence. Yeah, I mean, security's... See how they're doing two things at once? I feel secure when my partner values my intelligence. Not I feel loved or valued, but I feel secure. And yes, and this is a complicated one, but I know instinctively why I agree with this, is because I've been out with people where they didn't value my intelligence. I've been out with people where they did. And, like, first of all, I'm taking it for granted I am intelligent. Sorry if that's a bit arrogant, but if someone values it, then they value something that I see as something that I am. So they really, truly value me, yeah? And, like, my security around that is that I feel relatively secure in it. I mean, you could dump me for Stephen Hawking, yeah? But I think if they're valuing me and they think I'm reasonably intelligent, they value that, and we're good, yeah? We're good. That's why I feel secure. But if someone doesn't value that, they don't care if I'm intelligent, they care, therefore, about other things, they value other things in me, I feel like intelligence is one of my strong points. So if they care about how tall I am, then I'm going to feel insecure because I'm not the tallest person. So, there are other aspects of me that if that was where they attributed most value, I would then feel less secure. So I suppose what it's about is, I really think that versus other people, I'm more intelligent generally. Like, that's a scale that I feel I rate quite highly on, so I can feel secure in it. Whereas if it's other scales, and there's all sorts of scales, there's all sorts, and it's okay for everyone to value different things and to, we're not all the same on all these different things, are we? So, but yeah, there are other scales where I'd feel less secure. But intelligence is not one. So yeah, I agree with that. It's interesting, that question. Strongly agree, actually. Next. I like the feeling I get when my partner tells me I'm attractive. You're sexist. Yes. Agree. Next. I appreciate it when my partner prioritises me getting things that are important to me. What? I appreciate it, so it's something I like, when my partner prioritises, puts at the top of the tree, making sure this is important, getting me things that are important to me. What? What do you mean? Like physical, like going shopping for me? They put my needs first. That's what I'm hearing. I mean, I suppose I do appreciate that. Who doesn't? But in another way, I'd feel like it would get to me in after a while, and I'd be like, look, you're always putting my needs first, and you're always getting, sometimes I feel like you're not, I would feel sort of some sense of guilt maybe at some point. It's oh no, you go first. Oh no, you choose. Oh no, you go first. I don't mind. You have it. No, I'll split it with you. No, you have it. It's like, imagine if you'd gone to a restaurant and you'd each ordered your dinner, and then one of them came out quite bad. It doesn't matter whose. Like, one of the dinners came out bad. It was cold. It was frozen. They didn't cook it properly. Has to go back. You can have half of mine. Why don't you eat mine? I'm not worried. That balance like that. I would hate it if someone was always going without and giving to me. And this is weird, actually, because now I'm thinking about that. That's basically what parents do, isn't it? Or my experience of my mother more than my father, I suppose, in terms of going without, because single parent family, going without giving, it's something that maybe I took for granted when I was growing up more from parents. Getting things that were important to me, prioritising that. I mean, they had their stuff too. They didn't go without completely. I'm not saying my mum was sat at home, destitute, making sure I had my shoes on my feet. She was also having a life as well. So I don't feel like I caused them a burden so they couldn't have things that were important to them either. I don't know about priorities. I can't get in their head about priorities, but This is really weird. This is really weird. Big up to you saying that in chat there as well, JJ Kane, about parents' relationship. Like, but that's different, isn't it? I mean, it's love, and we're talking about love, and obviously you love your family, you love your parents, like, you know, it's love. But like, this is a partner. They're asking about partner, so I appreciate it when my partner prioritizes getting me things that are important to me. Prioritizes it. The thing is, I don't think it's wrong to say yes to this. Yeah, of course I appreciate it. If you're going to, like, on a general setup, like we're at the supermarket, the only way I can sort of think about this is we're at the supermarket and we've each got a list. And they've gone and got all the things that are important to me off the list first. So we're guaranteed I'm getting all my stuff. It's like the Big Brother shopping list in the Big Brother house. They've prioritised, they've given up their bit so I get my stuff. Like, they prioritise that. I hope they still get their stuff, but I appreciate they've done that for me. I've got all my stuff. I'm really happy. But then I sit there feeling guilty that they haven't got their stuff. I feel like we've overcompensated on my end and that I should have... I can't sit here with this big bag of stuff and you've got nothing. I feel guilty now. I don't like that. It makes me feel a bit weird. So I appreciate it, but I don't want to be prioritised, actually. In terms of getting me things, I think we should put our ideas together. Yeah, this is actually deep down true, actually. One of the things that I have felt in relationships is sometimes, again, it's about whether I recognise it. I recognise it more as a negative. Like, if it's not happening, I get cross about not putting your ideas together and moving toward a common goal. As much as I've always said, like, you know, you have your goal and I'll support you. If we're in a relationship together, and maybe I've not been with the right people because I've got a tattoo and they dumped me, you know. But like I was like, let's go all in together. Like, I'd rather, and I've never been in that situation where I really could, because, you know, I'm not gonna, unless we're married, like, I'm not gonna sign over half of my house and my business and this, and, you know, it's silly, isn't it? But like, I'd much rather think that we're on the same page, working towards the same goal, though. Like, we got the same priorities. So getting the things is getting the same things. That's where I feel happy. But if we have to decide who's getting, and you're getting my things and I'm getting your things, that's where I don't feel as happy. So internally, deep down, I want a partner who has the similar goals and priorities to me. Whether it be shopping, and I mean, it can't be something as petty as whether we get Kit Kats or Twixes, can it? But like, in the more important things, getting me things that are important to me, working towards a goal, I'd rather it was important to you, and I'd rather we shared it. So that's interesting, to be honest. I'm going to leave that in the middle. Next. 22. I enjoy holding hands with my significant other. Massively agree. Holding hands at every opportunity. Give me your hand. I like to do a big handy hold. Like, even if we're just going to be sat in doing something silly, I do like holding hands. It's nice. Like, if we were sat on the stream now, I'd hold your hand. It's nice, yes. Anytime someone chooses to hold your hand, it's nice holding hands with a significant other. To the point where I get eggy sometimes now, though, to the point where I just want to watch Match of the Day and stop trying to grab at my hand. There are times in my, not day necessarily, but there are times in my life, week, where I just don't want to be pestered. I'm just not in the mood for whatever it is, whether it be cooking breakfast or holding my hand, or okay, maybe the suck. I'll accept the suck. There's never a time I won't accept the suck. But like, sometimes I just, you know, just don't quite have it in me to be pestered. But other than that, I enjoy holding hands with my significant other. Yeah. So I massively agree. Next. I feel loved when my partner finds special experiences, such as getaways, for us to enjoy together. It's never happened to me, I don't think. I think it'd have to be a special person that would choose the right getaway. Because I would feel, and this is another one where it's about anger rather than love, but I would feel angry if someone booked a special experience or getaway and got it slightly wrong, and I had to put up with something that I didn't really want to do. So there's a lot of like option to get this wrong and to for this to go wrong. But in principle, if someone turned up, again, it's like a question from earlier, you know, if they turned up with 2 tickets for a thing, I'm going to say, oh, that's cool. Next. Gifts are like visible symbols of love to me. From what I've said so far, I'm going to have to say I agree. But I hate it because I tell you what, growing up, I can pinpoint this. Like, not, well, I'd say pinpoints. Pinpoint's probably the wrong word. But I've got a hair tickling me now. I know that I've learned this, or seen it in action, or whatever, is that money doesn't buy love. Gifts don't make, you know, feelings and how I felt as a kid weren't remedied by someone bought me something nice at the end of the week, or like I got a big Christmas present. Like the big Christmas presents were nice. The being bought a treat, or this is totally down to like my relationship with my dad, really, because like my dad was like, I can think of a couple of examples. Once we bought a bike, and I needed a bike. It wasn't a big deal though, like, you know, birthday or something. We just went somewhere and he was like, right, pick out bikes, we're buying bikes. And I was like, this is like a massive present, and it's just sort of happening. Like, my parents were going through a divorce, so like it wasn't a direct sort of, you know, here is a bike, sorry about the love. But, you know, like sometimes he would buy extravagant gifts. There was also another time he bought me a penknife, and another time he bought me a catapult. And I was like, wow, this is fucking cool. Like, I didn't expect, like, there was no reason for me to be treated with special gift. I mean, my sister had it as well, like whether it be ballet shoes or a great big sheep, because she liked sheep, and there was a great big soft toy sheep she got once. But like, he wasn't afraid or against just sort of saying, this is a cool thing that you want, right, bang. Are you in or out? Go on, because we've got to have the door. In or out? Like, every now and then there'd just be like this extravagant gift happen, and he had cash in his pocket, you know, he wasn't struggling for money, so he'd just, like, whether it be paying for a meal or going out for a thing or buying a thing, like, it wouldn't be though, what it wouldn't be is I couldn't say to him, I'd like the new Mario game please, let's go buy it. That wouldn't happen. It would be if it was something he wanted to buy. So a catapult, it was, I didn't know I wanted a catapult, but he got the idea to get me a catapult, so we went and bought a catapult. Like, it was like things that on his terms he thought were valid or worthy, or what, you know, for whatever reason he would make the decision to make this extravagant purchase, and then I would end up with some. And there was once or twice where I'd done something good or been good at school or something, and I got rewarded with a, you know, let's go to Argos and you can choose something. There was that. But these other items, like the catapult, like it was more on like a random sort of whim at his end. Maybe, I don't know what his working situation was, you know, maybe that month he'd had a good month or whatever, but like in general he was all right for money. So I think it was more about just these random frivolities, these random gifts. And like, so what the question is back to, gifts are visible symbols of love to me, yeah? Like, I understand that love is involved in some way, I guess, but being left with the physical item, you know, shake it all about, like getting dropped off back at home with mom and having a catapult which I'm not allowed to play with because you're not allowed to fire that over the road or whatever, or, you know, a different item, you know, like having a thing and sitting there and looking at the item. It was like, I'd rather not have the item and my family be together as, like, you know, because I was a kid and we went through a divorce. I'd rather my family were like a normal family and I didn't have toys. Like, that was I'd have given up the toys overnight. Yeah, just like, instead I had quite a lot of toys. Like, I was aware of it, you know, I was aware, like, sometimes I felt like I had maybe more toys or slightly more gifts than other, not other kids necessarily, but like maybe at times, like, you know, I felt like that substitution was being made, you know, more toys, less, but that's because of a divorce, you know, that was happening. So I guess parents felt guilty sometimes. So overall, as a kid, gifts are visible symbols of love to me. I understood that they were supposed to be, but I didn't feel that, like, you know, I wasn't left with a load of love. I was left with some Lego. So, like, I don't now have some sort of, like, special. In fact, all of those old toys got sold in the car boot by my mom, which was annoying to me because of the eBay cash value. But they're not symbols of love that I was attached to. It's not that special Turtles figure that my nan bought me. My nan used to buy me toys, and actually, out of all of the toys, the ones my nan bought me were much more felt like visible symbols of love, than like this sort of bargaining chip. Like, things are bad, so here's a present. Like, I do love you, here's a gift to prove it. Whereas my nan would just be like buying things sometimes, and it would feel more natural, I guess. I don't know. Like, so gifts are like visible symbols of love, but I don't sit there with the gift and equate that as, I don't sit there and feel loved because I have a gift. Like, it's a really weird combination of questions, isn't it? The way that like the two things come together. Agree or disagree? And I've said that there are some gifts that I can look at and say, actually, that reminds me that someone loves me. So there are gifts that I can look at like that. Strangely enough, more cash value, functional gifts, like cash value functional gifts, are less. Well, it's not strange enough, but there's less love in that, isn't there? You feel like, if someone like, I suppose cash is like the best example, isn't it? If someone gives you a load of cash, you don't feel that there's a lot of love in it, is there? But actually, it's quite a lot of, like, money's quite valuable, isn't it? So, like, money's like the ultimate standard gift, isn't it? Like, so is it a symbol of love? No. But if someone gave you like 10 grand, would you think they loved you? Like, it's just such a weird question. Like, they're not going to give it you unless they do love you, are they? Like, only your family, like would consider just like some stranger's not going to consider just giving you 10 grand. But if your family members asked you for money, you'd probably try and help them and give them money. So like, it's a really weird, like, the two different ways around. I still don't know what the answer. Yeah, money's obviously not love, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go out and just give someone 10 grand, am I, in the street? But, like, if my sister needed money, like, I'd just hand over money. I suppose because I love her and because money's not important. But you would only do it with someone you love. Like, it's just a really weird combination. Gifts are like visible symbols of love to me. Agree or disagree? Like, sometimes gifts are not even, like, you buy someone a gift for, like, their birthday because you're going to their birthday party and it's an obligation or something. Actually, no, it's like, I don't tend to do a lot of that in reality. Like, the last gift that I bought that was not standard family, maybe, like Christmas, everyone gets a gift. And even then I try and put some thought into it. But was my friend's kid. Like, me, I don't buy my mates a birthday gift generally, but that my mate's kid, who's now getting to the age of growing up, like, I missed their birthday, but I bought them a Christmas gift, like, because I cared, because I thought this is something important that they might remember, and I want them to feel that they are cared for and have people around them that they can, as they grow up, look at as Uncle Scott, reliable, there for me, like, always been around, like, so I need to spend more time actually just being around that kid, just being like, there's not much at the moment when they're like 1.5, 2 years old. Like, they're not going to remember much about any of it, is it? So it's not a big worry. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I would buy gifts as symbols of love, so they know that, like, there's someone thinking about them. I don't know. Like, it's a really hard question. I'm going to put the answer there, but I think I've thought about it too much. Next, I feel loved when my partner gets me something really special that I could not get myself. I've agreed with that already. The football shirt that someone bought me. I felt loved because I opened the present. I was like, oh my God, all the thought that's gone into it, all the searching and finding, and I couldn't find it myself on the internet. I had tried back in the day, given up on the idea. So, wow, that was really special. I couldn't get it myself. You must have really gone through the hoops to get that for me. You must really care. Yeah, agreed with that. Next. It's weird as well because that's a naivety of mine. Someone could just do a sort of workmanlike job of getting a nice present, and then I would assume they really cared, and maybe they didn't. Maybe they just did a really good job of getting a good present. I really enjoy the feeling I get when someone close to me helps me with everyday chores and tasks. going to say disagree. I'm going to say I'm fairly neutral to that. Like, it's an everyday thing. So it's not like I get a really big buzz, like, love feeling from it. Mainly because of the chores and tasks bit. And like as some of you are saying in chat, which, you know, it's a bit of a back and forth, this one, but some of you are saying in chat, which I do, like, some chores and tasks I don't want people to help me with. I'd rather just get on with it myself and just get it done. There's an opposite to this, which is I get angry when people don't help things where I think they should help. Like, it annoys me if I see dog poo in the garden because someone else might have seen it and left it. Like, if someone's seen it and left it, that annoys me. If you see it, you've got to go and get it. Because I see it and now I've got to go and get it. So that one annoys me. But other than that, like... And sometimes I see it and leave it, don't I? I'm guilty of everything I'm, you know, saying here as a negative. But I really enjoy the feeling I get when someone close to me helps me with everyday chores and tasks. No, I'm happy with saying mildly disagree. It's not like a big buzz for me. Next, I feel that my partner loves me when they volunteer to do the things they know I won't like doing or don't like doing. I'm going to agree with that because it's about knowing what I don't like doing. So if there was a list of chores and someone said, Scott, you do this chore, and they said, oh no, I'll do that, and I knew it's because they know I don't like doing it, it makes me feel that they've internalized that part of me and understanding of me, isn't it? And they're doing it to stop me from feeling bad. So that means that they must love me, or at least care. So yeah, I'm going to strongly agree with that. And it's a vice versa, that one as well. If my partner was being asked to do something and I knew they didn't want to do it, I would want to step in and not show them that I love them, but I would just do it. I'd want to step in and do it. So that one's an easier one. Next. Hearing my partner say, I love you, is one of the things on which I gauge the strength of my relationships. Because of my experience, I'm going to have to say disagree. You know, people have said it to me and it hasn't made a very strong relationship. In fact, I went out with one girl who said it to me quite a lot, and then our relationship was very fragile. So at the same time, I would definitely feel bad if someone, you know, if I was going out with someone, they never said it, I'd feel this feels a little bit fragile as well, because they just can't even say that. So what's the problem? But I don't need it every day. Like, I'm not like here to be like, you know, fawned around. In fact, you say it too much, it starts to lose its authority. So hearing my partner say I love you is one of the things on which I gauge the strength. Disagree. I think from what we talked about, not just the gifts, but the actions, like seeing that someone loves you or knowing that someone loves you is different from them telling you. I'm not here to be paid lip service, although in some of the other questions I've quite happily, readily accepted that if someone tells me something nice, I like it. But here, I don't sort of, like, if I've been going out with someone, I don't wait for them to say it. I'm not putting it in my diary. I'm not timing the days before and after they say it. If I say it and they don't say it, we've got a problem. If they say it and I don't say it, we've got a problem. But in general, I'm not like, you know, how many times this week did you say it? That's lower frequency than last week. You love me less. Like, that's not happening. So next, I feel loved when my partner buys things for me that I could not afford to buy myself. I mean, the only time anyone's done that for me is when it's been my parents, to be honest. Or when I've been really poor, when I was like, come home from university and I literally had no money. Some friends have bought me things that I literally couldn't afford, and that would be like a beer or some weed or stuff, because I couldn't afford anything. But and at that point I did feel that was love. You know, I did feel that was real kindness, because I wasn't going to beg, but like, you know, I had no money, so like there was a little bit of my life, like literally there was a little bit when I came back from university where people would say, do you want to come out and do so and so? And I say, I can't afford it, I haven't got any money. And they'd say, oh, I'll get you some beers, I'll buy you a ticket or whatever. And like, yeah, that was real care. But that's not partners, that's friends. and parents, like later on, like I'm saying, like even, you know, things I could not afford to buy myself, like, and actually on top of that, the stream, the last big expense, the computer, I have to thank my parents for my birthday monies and the stream, like Snippies and Capital K and people and the Tippies for helping me buy things I could not afford to buy myself. But and I do feel love from that. I do. I feel like proper genuine people care, and like, it's funny because that's financial again, isn't it? But it's funny, and I'm not trying to beg for tips here in any way, right? But I do feel something more than just a cold financial transaction when someone gives me a tippy. Like, and that's what helps me to buy things I couldn't afford otherwise. So, but a partner, maybe this is sexist again, but I don't think that's my role as a man to be having things bought for me. Like, I've never been out with someone who's been like really, really wealthy. I dated a girl who was like a lawyer or something like that once, and like she had a fast car and all that. But you know, we were only really dating and having sex, so she didn't have to buy me anything. I can't imagine in a situation where my partner's buying me big expensive gifts that I couldn't afford to buy myself, and how that would feel. But I would feel loved from it, yeah, because it would be like, wow, that's a big expensive thing. I mean, it depends how much money they've got. It's not about how much money I've got. Obviously, if I can't afford it, it's beyond my means. But if someone's got like £1 million and they buy me like something I can't afford, like a season ticket to Birmingham at the moment or something, I don't know. Like, I'm going to think that's an amazing present, but it's not going to be super love if they've got £1 billion, is it? It's all relative. I'm going to leave it in the middle. I don't know what the answer to the question is. Next. I feel loved when my partner kisses me tenderly. Strong agree. Some of them are really simple. Not give me a little kissy, not a little kissy, but a tenderly. Strongly agree. I'm down with that shit. I'm not going to describe kisses now because we all know what kisses are like, but yes. Slow kissy kissy, little kissy kissy. Oh, you bit my lip a little bit, kissy kissy. Tenderly, yeah. Next. I really enjoy the feeling I get when I receive someone's undivided attention. This is weird because it's strongly agree, strongly disagree. I get eggy if I'm out, like if we're going to be in a group and I'm trying to talk to someone I don't know, like a new girl that I think, oh, maybe me and her might get on, then I'm going to want her undivided attention during that process. And I know I can't have it because someone might come over with a drink or she might chat to so-and-so, but I'm like, hang on, like, you know, I'm trying to talk to you here. I'm trying to, like, you know, see how we're going. Like, if you start going off and swanning around and talking to other people, I'm gone. I'm just dust. Like, I want the undivided attention bit at the early stages like that for sure. I want to know that someone's paying attention, they're into it, and like it's going well, yeah? Undivided is a bit of a strong word, but... so I do like that feeling as well. Like, if you're out, like, flirting with someone in a bar or whatever, and they give you attention, undivided attention, I feel like this is going well. They quite like me. I'm giving them my attention because I quite like them, and they're reciprocating. Maybe I'll get their number. You know, this is going well. I like that feeling, yeah? In principle, in a relationship in general, getting that attention when, you know, when I want it, like I said, like, you know, being listened to, being heard and all that, yeah, but there are days when I don't want someone's undivided attention. I would rather they just get on with whatever the fuck they want, because I'm not there to sort of entertain them at all times. And there are, like, as honestly, I don't know if this is like a problem in me that all of the people who've ever gone out with me have come up against at some point, but it's like hot and cold in some ways. There are some days where I'm just like I just need a break from, I just need to be chilling and doing my own thing, playing Genshin Impact, not talking to anyone. Like, coming and giving me a back rub, coming and giving me your undivided attention is going to make it worse, because I don't want this spotlight on me all the time, like this focus. Like, I need a bit of space sometimes. I think everyone feels like that. Like, but maybe I've felt like it because of the way other people have been in different relationships, so I don't know. But I really enjoy the feeling I get when I get someone's undivided attention. Yes, I actually agree. Sometimes if you're, and this is about love and relationships, and I know there are other people in the world, and I know that we have to engage and interact with other people in the world, but when I'm with the person I'm with...
It's raining again. I couldn't be happier.
Big up your tippies. There's love.
Thanks for another great stream, even though you didn't pull me a card.
We can pull your card.
Superchuffer owes 3 hugs.
Don't forget it. We'll pull your card after this quiz. We'll pull your card and then we'll look at Val's post. We'll definitely do that. I'm feeling the heat from under the desk. It's starting to make my trousers heat up. I hope it's the heat from under the desk, because if it's me, that doesn't even feel very hot there. Oh, the radiator's blaring. That's what it is. The radiator's blaring. Bloody radiator. It's got 2 settings, hot and blaring. Like, anyway, I really do enjoy the feeling I get when I receive someone's undivided attention. And I really enjoy the feeling of giving someone my undivided attention and them enjoying that. You know? Like, it's maybe a little bit creepy, I guess, but like, I'm not going to sit there staring at you. But when I'm out with someone and I'm romantically engaged with them, involved with them, I don't want everyone else to be like chatting and like, I know that you have to and you're social, but I'm there to look deeply into your eyes. Like, you know, I'm there to hear all about you. I'm not there to sort of chat to your friend or like, do you know what I mean? Like, that sort of stuff ain't really me. So, I've been in those sort of relationships as well, where it's like, you know me, know my friends. I'm like, yeah, your friends are nice and everything. I get on with them, but I don't really give a fuck. I'm there to stare deeply into your eyes. So that's how I feel about that. So yes, I'm going to agree with that strongly. Next, I like it when my loved ones buy me special gifts. Again, it's the gifts question. Like, who doesn't like that? Mind you, this Christmas, this is a good example, this Christmas, I didn't get anything. And I didn't care. Like, we talked about maybe an additional monitor for my computer and, you know, save that up for the January sale or something, but I just really don't mind. It's not about that for me. Like, I do enjoy Christmas with all the people being around. That's the bit I like. And I like it when I give them a gift and they like the gift. When I get a gift, I feel a little bit embarrassed that I have to open it in front of everyone, and then I have to like it and sort of, you know, show emotion in front of everyone. So I feel a bit embarrassed about that. So overall, I like it when my loved ones buy me special gifts. Yeah. Who doesn't? Well, me, because I feel a bit embarrassed when I have to open them. But I still like it. Next. I'm comforted to know that someone close to me is concerned enough to help me with my tasks. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? I'm comforted to know that someone close to me is concerned enough to help me with my tasks. Do you know what? That was a bit like the chores question from earlier, but when they reword it like this, I strongly agree. Feeling that you're not alone with tasks, little difficult things, it is really comforting. And it's reminding me of parents more than a partner, though. I don't know if this is something I should look for in a romantic partner. Help me with my tasks. You know, like chores or tax returns or whatever. But I do that sort of stuff with my parents. Like, you know, if I've got tasks and I need comforting and help, then I'll go to my parents, I suppose. My sister. There's not that many tasks. And I don't need comforting and help with that many of them. I do my own tasks in the main. But like things where I find it difficult or frustrating, I will find comfort that someone concerned close is going to help me. Like when I went to the police recently, I didn't ask my dad to go with me, but he said he wanted to go with me. So I was like, yeah, okay, come with me. And it was comforting to know that someone close to me was concerned enough to help me. So that's really comforting, but that's my dad. So this is a love thing. Obviously, I love my dad, but like this is supposed to be a romantic partner. So how much would I feel about that with a romantic partner? Like, to be honest, there have been times in my life where I felt like especially with running the business, because I had like 2 serious girlfriends when I run the business, the hairdressing business, for about 8 years or so longer. Like, you know, when it was me running my own business, and like there were a lot of serious tasks there, you know, but I didn't need any help or I didn't want any. You know, my relationship bit was away from those tasks. My work was my work, and I was like focused. I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't need their help, but I did accept help from my parents and my friends and family maybe, but romantic relationship, no. Like, and what tasks? I suppose in a longer term romantic relationship, I would want the help with those tasks, whatever they were. And I would feel comforted that they were concerned enough to help me. But that's still very much, I mean, what I'm learning from this maybe is that my family provide some, if this is all the stuff that a romantic or a relationship provides based on these questions, if this is what love's about, then I get a lot of love from my family, and I love my family. And like a lot of the roles here are provided by my mom, my dad, my sister. Like, obviously not romantic, not sexual, duh, but like, that's not even wrong and that's not bad. That's good that you love your family and have those things. Like I said earlier in the stream about we put the fun in dysfunctional when we were growing up, because I've said it in this, you know, we've had a divorce, there's been issues, but we're all grown up now and like we love each other and we're close enough to be there and around. And maybe I talk a good game because I'm saying it on the internet, but I haven't seen my dad in like a week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe longer, I don't know. Sometimes sometimes it feels like a short time and it's getting to be a long time. But, you know, I'm not certainly the sort of person that spends a lot of time going out of my way to go and do a lot of stuff with them. As I said earlier, I'll happily sit at home with the dogs while they all go out. But I do know that I feel those feelings and that everything described here, I'm very grateful to my family, so maybe I should make more of an effort to do some stuff. Like, I buy my mum flowers, but like, you know, I don't know. Maybe I need to make more of an effort to just show them that I love them more, because now I understand that a lot of those aspects of love, I'm very lucky to have my family. Yeah. I do wonder, yeah, good question. Maybe I'm different as a man. Like, I don't want to be sexist, but I do feel like some of these questions might be answered differently by different people, and your perceptions and roles of a relationship or whatever might be different. Maybe this is partly what I've been taught to believe about masculinity and roles in a relationship. You know, I've been socialised, haven't I? So next question. I enjoy it when my partner takes the time to acknowledge and thank me for the things I do for them. Well, yeah, I mean, if they don't, I feel a bit fucked off. If you're doing a lot of stuff for someone and then they don't give you an acknowledgement or thank you, you're going to be cross. So again, it's one of those, I see the negative rather than the positive, and so I assume that I like it when people acknowledge it. So I assume I do, and that's a bit weird because I like to do things for people because I like to do them for them. We've said it in the quiz, I like to do things for people, but I also do like to be acknowledged for doing it, or at least I don't like to not be acknowledged. You know what I mean? So you're not always just doing things because you like doing things for people. I'm also doing things because I want people to acknowledge it and see me as, I suppose, see a value in me, which is a bit pathetic. Is it pathetic? It's a bit like simpish, isn't it? It's a bit like pathetic. Oh, I do all these things for you so that you love me. But as we saw earlier, like, if you don't like doing it and I love you, I'll step in and do it for you. So it's not just that, but if I've stepped in and done it for you, it is nice to get the thank you afterwards, isn't it, I suppose? We've only got one question left, and they haven't even mentioned getting sucked off at any point. So apparently getting sucked off and love are not synonymous, but you know, let's be real. I can literally think in my mind of like my top relationships based on how much I got sucked off. Thank you, Sierra J, for the gifted tier sub. I've ruined it all now. Things were going really well then. Thank you, Sierra J, for the tiers. I don't know why it didn't come up with the thing on the screen. I'll do a button.
Lega and fearless, we came to take one. Follow ladies, I want ladies, super ladies. Nurture set.
No, I don't want to ruin it all at the end because I was being quite romantic throughout all of that. But like, I've put up with some fucking I've put up with some interesting relationships, but the sex has been quite good. I don't know why they haven't mentioned that aspect of it, because Like, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, they say. But, you know, you've got to suck it through my stomach then. Sorry, I'm being crude. But we've only got one question left, and I thought this was all about love. And I've been out with ladies who, more than one, who have made me feel like when I've been really good and they love me a lot, then they reward me with the suck. So maybe that's just something I've internalized from that. Like I said, I've been out with all sorts of different people as well. You know, when I've been out with the girls that have got on top of me like Big Bertha, giving me a broken pelvis, and I've been out with the ones that are like, you know, pulling up the covers and cold fish in the bed. So I've been out with all sorts of different people. Sort of fulfilled different roles in relationships at different times. So I feel like I kind of do know what I like. I didn't want to say crazy bitches, but because that's really narcissistic, isn't it? And like, you start saying the people that your exes are crazy, and it makes you so bad, and it is bad. And like, when I think of it, they've had their own struggles and issues. So like, when I've understood it finally, I understand it, but it didn't stop them from being a little bit, you know, sometimes. And I'm friends with lots of my exes. I don't hang out with them or anything, but, you know, like I said, if you wanted to get them on the stream, I could call them up, they'd answer the phone, we'd have a chat, they'd be nice, everything would be fine. So it's not that I've got this litany of crazy exes, but through having dated lots of different people, I've met a couple. It's not just that, no, look, I don't want to be crude, but it's not just the BJ. No, it's like any form of sexual, you know, thing. A hand job's a bit weird as a grown-up, but you know, the straightforward sex is also good. Quite like that too. Carnal reward has not been questioned here, but I'll be honest. Maybe it's because I'm a man. I don't want to be sexist, but like, we did the heterosexual quiz earlier. I'm quite heterosexual. I think the sex part that differentiates, because we talked about the difference here as a family relationship and a partner relationship. It's been about levels of support and stuff, but really what it's, for me, the difference is the sex bit. So we haven't mentioned it. It hasn't been brought up. Question 34 of 35. How much sex do you enjoy having, and what do you want to have sex-wise, love-wise? It's not, sex and love have not been, like, they've equated sex, this is what's weird to me. They've equated love and money. If you get gifts, is it love? That's the question they've asked. But they haven't equated sex and love. And like, you can even be transactional about sex, can't you? In or out? Come on. You can even, like, people are transactional about sex. So, you know, prostitutes don't love the people they have sex with, do they? But like, and like, someone could give me a right suck and not, like, and be really cross with me. But they haven't broached that topic here in this, and it is actually, to be fair, it is actually quite an important and big part of a relationship, isn't it? So I'm surprised they haven't broached that topic. Right, next, 35 of 35. I like it. They have talked about intimacy a little bit, but I like it when the people who are close to me give me a hug. That's nearly, it's only one word off, isn't it? It's only one word off. Why'd you meow like that when I pick you up? If they just changed hug to a more grown-up word. But anyway, look, we'll say strongly agree. Of course, everyone likes a hug. If I'm honest, you know, the question about the spoon earlier, there are nights where I don't want you to mess with me, you know, I just need to get my sleep. But there are other nights where, like, I'm the opposite. I'm like, if you just roll over and don't cuddle me, I'm like, whoa, don't you love me? Don't you love me? I suppose it's an insecurity, that, but like, if you get into bed with someone, like, the sex irrelevant, like whether you've had it or not or whatever, you know, but at the end of it, when it's night's time, if someone just rolls over with their back to you, and it's like light off, rolls over, I just feel like, whoa, I've just been left on my own here. No cuddle. I don't like that. So I do like the spoonis, and I do like the hug. If you're watching a movie, you're on the sofa and doing stuff like that, I want my hug. I want my cuddles. I don't want to be like, you know, isolated, separate beds, separate sofas. Like, if I'm with someone, I've got my arm around them, you know, I'm quite happy with all that stuff. So yeah, I do like the hug, thanks. Let's finish. Love styles, test, focus, acts. What's this? What's this nonsense? These are my results. I can share them on Facebook. Oh, there's words. Look, there's loads of words. Oh, for fuck's sake, there's loads of words. All right, I'll get the words on the... obviously here I'm much more tactile. Touch is a big thing. Money's not a big thing to me, which is weird, actually, like I said, because when I was growing up, there was dysfunction in my family, and people did show they cared by making sure that you could see, like, with gifts sometimes, and gifts came up as a lot of the conversation, but money, and this is me, like, my friends will attest to this. I'm not one who chases after the big bucks, or, like, feels like I need money. Like, obviously I need money, but I'm not, like, finance driven. I'm quite passionate about stuff, and like the business, when I did the hairdressing, I wanted to make money, but I wanted to be a really good hairdressing business. Like, you know, there's other priorities, and the money comes along if it comes as it comes along. Intellect, is this what I value? Love styles, words. People whose love style is words communicate through kinds of words, and people whose style is focus communicate through, oh, this is how I communicate. This is my love style. So I'm strongly touch. People whose love style is touch cherish being hugged, touched, and physically close to the people they're comfortable with, which is funny because all the way along I've tempered that with the idea that sometimes I'm just going to say, can we have a break from putting your hands on me? Like, I just need a bit of me time. Like, I'm not in the mood for, like, there are times when I'm just such a hermit with it. Like, not as like I can't have sex, don't sex me. Like, you know, obviously sex is still always on the menu, but like, you know, or let me stroke your hair, let me mess with you. Like, sometimes I feel a bit fiddled with and a bit messed with, and I'm like, can we just stop? But not always. Like, it's only when I feel like it. It's when I feel like it. I can't, that's it, I feel like it. I'm going to have to deal with it and come around to not feeling like it. I'll be different in a day, you know, but I can't switch it on and off sort of thing. But it's only every now and then anyway, yeah. It's only when you feel pestered. Like, if you've been, I think the best example is if you, like, go on holiday with someone you haven't been going out with for that long or something, and they kind of get on you. It's like someone climbing on you all the time, like getting on you. Like, maybe I wouldn't be that good a father because kids are going to do that to me, aren't they? And maybe I don't mind if it's kids, but if it's your partner and they're like on you all the time and needy and always on you, like, there's a point where I'm like, look, I'm going to play Genshin Impact. You get on the fucking sofa or the dog or something. But yeah, this is my style anyway. Being hugged, touched, and physically close to the people they're comfortable with, I'd agree. Their love style is one of physical affection. I'd agree. For instance, an ideal date may include holding hands. Well, they asked me directly about that. Cuddling and sitting close with each other. Yeah. And the rest. Simply enjoying the exchange of intimacy and familiarity. Yeah. But I'd also agree with some of these other things, like intellect and gifts is quite high. Money not, but gifts high. Interesting. Gifts actually very high. This is interesting. So intellect and gifts. So gifts is next. People whose love style is gifts cherish the effort and creativity put into the presents which are being given to them and by them. They see gifts as important symbols of love and affection. It's important. Actually, now I'm thinking about this as well. When they say creativity, it's going through my head the art people make for the channel, the entries for the mug competition, the songs, the all that sort of stuff that people throw towards me as a streamer. Like, I do really appreciate that. Like, it's hard to sort of explain it publicly, like, to show that appreciation, in, like, to sort of, because it's a feeling, not a, I can't, like, 7 out of 10 appreciation for that, thanks. Like, it's hard to know how to show it, but I do appreciate those things. It's important to note people with this love style do not normally expect expensive or large gifts. True. Since what they value is the sentiment and the meaning behind the object. True. They feel loved when others take the time to look for the perfect gift for them, and they express love by finding the perfect gifts for others. True. I mean, it's not like I go around every day trying to find someone a present if I'm going out with them, but there are obviously the ascribed times in the year, your birthday, Christmas, but also Valentine's, extras, bits and pieces. I'm always picking up, like, this is exactly what I'm like, actually, if I'm in a relationship, is I'm always like going to a little interesting side shop and buying you an interesting gift rather than just like flowers and chocolates from the one stop. But I'll like consistently be bringing gifts, yeah. And that, like, it's right as well, not expensive gifts. It's not like I'm going to buy you a stereo because you need a new stereo. Aren't I great? But like little meaningful little gifts. Like a great example of this was, and it's stupid, it's real stupid, is I bought this girl that was into the horses. I found some, like, there's a lot of horse necklaces with horseshoes, but I had to go long and hard to find some sterling silver. I would have bought them in any gold or whatever because it was hard to find them, but horse stirrups, like actual little stirrups. We obviously broke up, but no, I thought the little stirrups were a real beautiful little gift. I also, in the same shopping spree in the antiques hall, in the antique centre, I found a bit for a horse. It was just it was stupid, but I said, one day I'll buy you an actual horse, but here's a horse bit. But the little stirrups were nice. Pervert. She liked horses. They were like little... Are you talking to somebody else? That's interesting, though. I didn't realise... Because it's nice to think... I was worried that gifts might be like, you buy people things to buy their affection, but it's not that, is it? So that's okay. It's romantic gifts. It's romance. Next on the list is intellect. People whose love style is intellect and understanding cherish relationships that allow them to connect mind to mind. This love style can range from taking time to thoroughly understand the other person's hobbies and interests to having in-depth discussions of an existential nature on complex esoteric topics. Bang on. If you can't lie awake talking about the big stuff, and the interesting stuff, then what's going on? It's nice to have sex with someone who looks great, but then if they are dull and uninteresting afterwards, they can just leave. Maybe, pass me the pizza on the way out. But that deeper, meaningful connection comes from this, doesn't it? So, and that's not to say that someone has to be a smarty pants. But taking time to understand each other and interests and having interests, that's what it's about, really. So, yeah, I'd agree with that, but I like the fact as well. The way I agree with it is it's not my top one, and it's not my top one. I'm going to go down the list and see what the others all mean. So, next, acts. And now we're getting into the ones that aren't my top ones. So, whilst I have some of this, I'm definitely more... God, I'm a bit of... I'm happy to say this, actually, because I know this is kind of who I am, really, as well. So, I'm happy with this. But I'm a much more sort of touchy-feely romantic who will buy you nice, thoughtful gifts and want to connect with you on a deeper level. So... First of all, and this is true as well. First of all, I will find that I'm attracted to someone because of how they look, obviously. There's only been one relationship in my life where I've had not looked at them. It was like a pen pal thing, and then, then we revealed our faces sort of thing. But, first of all, I like how someone looks and is sexy, and I want to do the sex at them. So I want to touch them, yeah. But then I like to show people that I care through gifts, I suppose. It's a bit of a weird one to have second, because I think the intellect one probably comes second. But no, yeah, like the touch, the romance, call it the romance, the gifts, the buying little presents, the going little places, the thoughtfulness, the writing something in a card and, that sort of stuff, the gifts, the romance part of it. I enjoy the romance part. So yes, agree with that. And then the intellect, the deeper, meaningful connection, the talking till late at night, the having that feeling of understanding, someone being interested in you, someone interested in you being interested, that, yeah, 100%. So that's me. That's what I do. And then these other ones are going to be less, obviously they're all important, they're all part of a balanced approach, aren't they? But we're going down the list now, and these are all about the same. So acts is next. People whose love style is acts enjoy when others do everyday helpful things for them. They feel loved when others take time to do small favours for them, such as when others make them tea or coffee exactly the way they like it, or when their partner volunteers to help them with tasks that are difficult or draining for them. This love style is the origin of the familiar adage that actions speak louder than words, and I'm surprised it doesn't feature higher on my list, because I thought part of Freudian, I'd have thought Freudian, Oedipus complex, people's mothers do a lot for them. So people I'm a boy, and maybe I would prefer that ladies do a lot for me, like my mom did. I don't know, it just feels like that would be something that would rate high. And I'm a bit, I suppose, ashamed to say it, even as a grown-up, but people around me still do quite a bit for me. I don't have to do as much chores as as the average person, I suppose. But I'm not seeing it and valuing it. Well, it's not my style. That's what this is. I am valuing it. I do value it. But if I want to show someone that I value it, then I will get them a meaningful gift. Like I said, I buy my mum flowers. Not just random flowers, but the ones that are her favourite ones, So I think it's more, I've got to understand that, is that other people are showing me love through acts. This is the important bit that I'm learning here. Obviously, I understand and resonate with gifts and intellect and touch. I understand and resonate with that. But these are the ones that I don't understand and resonate with as much. So if people are doing it for me, then I should realise that that's their way of showing love, and I should appreciate it more. That's what I'm learning here. Someone who makes me a little cup of tea or helps me with the chores. And a great example of that recently is the tax that I have to fill in the forms and do the details of the tax and the money and all that. I hate doing it, and my mom helps me with it, and it's because she loves me. But I feel like it's just a boring chore, and I don't see it as a loving task and that there's much love going on. But actually, it's her way of showing me that she loves me, yeah? Or maybe she feels a sense of duty, I don't know. I should value that more. I should show the value through gifts. Obviously, I can, give my mum a big hug, but right, next. Focus and words. Focus. People whose love style is focus communicate through giving another their undivided attention. Such focus may involve uninterrupted and deeply attentive conversations in one-on-one settings, creating special moments together, turning off phones and shutting out other distractions. They themselves also feel loved when they are prioritised, and they deepen their connections by spending such special times with others. Now, I'm surprised that's rated so low, because I do value that and I put that quite high. Now they've explained it like that, I would push it higher. But I think some of those questions I was confused by. I also think in the early stages of a relationship, I know you don't want to get under each other's feet too much, it's new, it's fresh, it's romantic, it's honeymoon period, but don't spend a month together in close proximity in that month, because it's probably going to end up being too much too soon maybe. But I do that a bit, the too much too soon, the focus, the undivided attention. I do like that as well, especially when it's new. So I feel like that could have been pushed up a bit more in this. Words. People whose love style is words communicate through kind words and encouragement. Their love style involves spoken words, praises or compliments. They themselves also feel loved when people talk to them in a positive and encouraging way, or send them positive messages, love notes or inspiring quotes. And that medium, I suppose, it's not bad to me, but I could not, I understand that it's not my highest priority thing. Do you know what's really interesting, actually, I've just realised, is that maybe if I'm with someone and I don't realise that words is their priority, and I don't tell them enough, then they don't feel it enough. That's interesting. I don't think I'm bad for that. I think I'm in the middle, like it says. But there might be some people who are right up here on it, and you date them and they need the words. And I was saying sometimes it feels like, words can be a bit hollow and anyone can just say the words, can't they? So it's nice to have the words, but the important thing is what's behind them. But maybe some people are saying them and they really mean them, and I should take it a bit more seriously. It's also something, I tell you what, it's something that I find is difficult sometimes. Like, you know, you kind of feel these things, but there's also a strange, I'll admit it, there's a sort of inhibition about going around telling everyone I love them all the time. You know, I feel like I'm not going to, I feel like saying it makes me think of all the people I love that I haven't called in a while and told them I love them. And like, it's now nearly 10 o'clock at night. I'm not going to call my dad and tell him I love him. It's going to be a bit weird doing that. Like, he knows, I know, we both know. You know, last time I saw him, I gave him a big hug. Like, we're all good. But it makes you, it at least makes me feel like I'm not saying the words enough, and that there are people out there who need to hear them more. And there's nothing wrong with saying them more, unless they become hollow and meaningless. And then finally, money. And this is a weird one, because I don't know how this would get in there, but people whose love style is help with money. And I suppose I've described my dad being a bit like this, haven't I? But he's not, it's weird, because he's not like my dad and my mum. When it's crunch time, like, a great example is when I did the hairdressing business. The first month of doing, like, I paid my own rent at the hairdressing place, but the first month to take on the business, they wanted a deposit. I don't have a deposit. I hadn't saved up the deposit. So I had to go to my parents and say, can I please have a deposit for a business, and also a little bit of money to buy some chairs maybe? And then we'll be like able to pay you back over a bit of time, you know, and stuff like that. Like, if I didn't have that, I'd be in not the same position I am now. Like, so help with money was definitely offered to me at the crunch times, but it wasn't the case that I could sort of say, I fancy going on holiday, have you got a bit of spare cash? Like, that's never going to happen. Like, my dad is very generous at certain, like, birthdays, Christmases, and going out for a meal or something, you know, certain terms where there's like social terms where it's acceptable for the generosity. But at other times, you know, if I want, like, he's always tried to, like, my dad certainly has always tried to drum into me that if I want something, I have to work for it, so I can't just expect someone to buy it for me. And then he's been undermined by my mother's generosity as a kid and growing up. You know, my mother's been quite generous. Like, when we were kids, I think of this as well, is like going into town to hang out with our mates. Oh, can I have a fiver? You know, do you remember this? Do you remember when you were about 15 and you, like, obviously the money wasn't flowing because you were like 15 or 16, and on into university as well. You know, can I have some money in the bank because I'm poor again? You know, like, my mom is much more financially generous in that sense. So I could ask my mom to say, like, you know, not, I want to go on holiday, give me the money, but like, especially at uni as well, like, you know, I'm poor this month, can I have more money? Like, that happened, but yeah, love style help with money. I find it a strange one, because it's like a on their terms sort of help with money. Like, the same people who are sort of infinitely generous are not money taps who would not have me tap them. Like, I have to, like, pay my way, and I'm pressured to, like, make sure I'm, you know, not sort of like a drain on the family resources, so to speak. And do you know what I mean? Like, they're also quite financially strict. Anyway, money. People whose love style is help with money enjoy the feeling of freedom they get from their partner taking care of financial matters they have had a hard time handling themselves. I mean, I'd love to find this. I'd love to experience it. Like, imagine, I saw a video the other day of a bloke going out with Cher, and he was like a 20-something music producer, or 30-something on. Cher's obviously Cher, and like, you know, the question is, he's a bit of a toy boy, isn't he? But like, Cher must be like really, really rich. So you can't want for anything. Like, if she's prepared to pay for everything, like, you've got infinite money and you go out with Cher, and she's not that bad, she's Cher, but like, oh, that'd be weird, wouldn't it? Infinite money. Like, so, but hang on, people whose love style is help with money enjoy the feeling of freedom they get from their partner taking care of financial matters. This can range from offering very special and expensive things to prioritising their financial well-being through working hard. I mean, this feels like, and I'm trying not to be sexist, but it feels like the flip side, where you see a lot of ladies accused of being a gold digger or whatever, but like, they're happy if their man goes out to work and takes care of the finances, and like, you know, that's a form of like financial trade-off in my mind, but actually apparently it's a form of lifestyle. Or if you're the man going out to take care of the finances, you're doing the love the way the woman in this. Well, I'm being sexist, making it man and women, but I'm making it sexist. Sorry. This can be the other way around. Of course it can, but I've never felt it myself. Other than my parents, obviously. I've never been out with someone who sort of offered to take care of my finances. And I would never be in a situation in a restaurant where a woman paid the bill. Like, my sister's paid the bill, of course. Like, my mom's paid the bill, but like a woman who I'm dating, that's never going to happen. Like, I've always paid the bill. So, I'm buying me special expensive things. Like, I've never dated someone who's that well off. They bought me some special expensive things. Or maybe I have, and I'm being naive here, and I can't remember. Well, not naive's the wrong word, isn't it? Ungrateful is probably the right word if I can't remember something special and expensive. But honestly, I've bought special expensive gifts for other people for sure, but I've never expected something financially, big in reward. And I wonder how it would feel to be going out with someone who just wanted to pay for all my stuff, make sure that I didn't have to worry financially. It would make me feel, what's the word? It'd make me feel like not a man. And that's what it'd make me feel. You're paying halves. No, like if we're chilling and we're friends, I don't mind my friends chipping in, even if they're female, But like, if I'm dating someone and it's a one-on-one situation, I don't want to have to ever worry that, like, for a start, I don't want anyone to think like, he didn't pay the bill and now I'm crossing it, or any of that. I'm not getting into that world because I pay the bill. Like, that's it. Like, it makes me feel like, what's the word? It's not emancipated. It's emasculated. I feel emasculated if I don't pay the bill. So, thanks very much, but can you let me pay the bill? Like, and to the point where I really, feel a bit funny about it. Like, so can we just let me pay the bill? And that's the same with this. If I was dating someone, even if they were like, if I started dating Ariana Grande, she's really rich, isn't she? So she can afford everything. But I'd still be like, I don't want to go to paying the bill in like Bel Air restaurants. I can't afford it. So it'd make me feel bad. But there are times where I just have to accept it, I suppose. But it would make me feel weird. Like, and the idea that she would want to take care of all my finances because she loved me, I kind of understand it in theory, but in practice, I think, I'd love to experience it because then I'd be financially just free, wouldn't I? Because someone else is paying for everything. Yeah, actually, this would be ideal for me, actually, isn't it? I could stay at home, I could look after the kids, I could just not worry, and they could just provide. I suppose they'd have to work. We all have to work. Like, if I was going out with someone and like we had kids, I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to go to work. In fact, I'd be surprised if they expected me to do all the work and them never do any work and just stay at home with the kids out of expectation, because I'd like to do some staying home with the kids as well. So I'm definitely going to be staying home with the kids, whether I work from home like I do or whatever. Like, I'm not changing to go out to work. I want to stay at home with the kids. Like, but the idea that someone else would not be there and go out to work and I would stay at home, and like, it's almost like this role reversal of what I'm traditionally, the sexist paradigm of patriarchal housewife, isn't it? I'd be a house husband. I could dig it. I think I could dig it. It'd actually be alright. I think for a bit I'd feel weird about it, but it's only money, isn't it? Like if I dated someone who was like quite wealthy, like from whatever means, and if they work hard, it's not a negative. I admire people who work hard. Like, different jobs pay different monies. I mean, I learned this. A really interesting one was when we did the Stugan film. Some of those young game developers, the skills they had, the jobs they were working in, and continued to go on to, they're just normal people like all the other people I know, but they could earn a very large amount of money. And some of them, like, I met someone who was a millionaire. I met 2 or 3 people who were millionaires, actually, when I think about it. Like one of them had sold a game on the phone. They'd made a puzzle game on the phone, and they'd sold millions of copies, and now they're a millionaire. It's just some dude that I'm chilling with. Like, so, like money's relative in lots of ways, isn't it? You know, if I met this girl and she'd sold 1 million copies of a video game and she wanted to pay for my life, then fair enough, let's have a great life. Like, but the difference would be if she wanted to go and, like, or if she felt she had to go and work at Tesco 9 to 5 to, you know, to scrimp and save so that she could pay for everything for me, I'd feel really bad about that, and I can't be doing that. That's not happening. I'll go to Tesco. I want to stay at home with the kids, but if it's a choice of, like, you know, one of us at the coalface, I'll do the coalface. But if we're lucky in other ways and someone's, you know, enjoying their work and is financially, anywhere in between, you know, like look at Nicola Bulley as an example here, you know, being a financial advisor, or was she a mortgage advisor person? Like, if you're doing better than me and I'm Paul Ansell and my engineering's going down the pan, great, I'll stay at home with the kids more. You can do your enjoyable work and you enjoy it and it's good and you're having a good time and you're not stressed and worried and hassled and you enjoy life, because we all enjoy doing things. You know, if she was up for that, then fine, we'll balance the family that way. I'm not going to feel emasculated, you know, less of a man for that. But the idea that I would sit on my arse at home while someone else went out and worked really hard and felt bad about it and all that, you know, that end of the spectrum ain't for me. Also, the other side of the coin, I'm not here to try and create a family with someone who expects to just sit at home while I pay for everything and they're not interested in my work and they don't care about it and they just, where's the money, where's the money, where's the money? That's gonna, you know, that's not gonna happen to me. I'm not having that. You know, I would expect a partner to contribute, even if it was, you know, I suppose I'd be looking for someone who was capable of contributing. But, like, even if it was in small amounts, in small ways, I'd like to think they were trying, you know, and not just looking for a meal ticket and a free ride, and which is weird because apparently this love style is a legitimate thing, but it almost feels like gold digging. It's weird as well because this is a complaint that men raise against women from the Andrew Tate side of things. Women just want a high value man. Women just want a man who can give them a load of monies. So if you've got a load of monies, then you're doing all right. And it's not that. Obviously, they want more than that. But it seems that some women will go out with men who you think, oh, they're not that attractive and they're not that this and they're not that, are they? They're not that good, but they've got loads of money. So you'll go out with them. There's some old chuffer, some old shriveled chuffer, but you'll go out with them and not me because they've got loads of money. So I'm cross because I should be having the nice girlfriend and the man with the loads of money has got the girlfriend, and I'm cross. You know, there is a bit of that goes on in the world, isn't there? But then they're judging aesthetically pleasing looking women as the great women because they look sexy. So I wish I had them. But those women are going out with old men for money, so they're not that nice. You might not like hanging out with them or talking to them. So it's a big world. You wouldn't mind a sugar daddy. Like, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't mind being a sugar daddy. I mean, not for a tiny young girl or anything, but you know what I mean? I wouldn't, if I won the lottery and I, you know, some hottie girl that I fancied and wanted to make a wife and all that, and I said, don't worry, I'll pay for everything, you know, it's on me. I'd feel quite cool about that. Let's go to dinner. I've got it covered. Jump in my Ferraris. You know, yeah, okay. It'd be cool. But it's not, as you've seen from my answers, it's not on my high priorities list. But from my end, if I had the money, I wouldn't feel funny about it in any way at all, just spending it on someone else. It wouldn't feel like much to me at all. I wouldn't feel like I'm doing something special because it's loads of money. So I've got, like, I'm a millionaire now. I've won the lottery, so it doesn't feel like a big deal. Like I'm doing something special. It's not a big deal, but to someone else, it might feel like a big deal. Interesting. And interestingly to me, the sort of easy come, easy go approach, because I don't feel it's like a big deal. If I didn't have it, I would be surprised if someone then left me, because to me it wasn't a big part of it, but apparently it was, you know. I'm too good looking to be a sugar daddy. Do you have to be a horrible old man then, do you? I thought you just had to be older than the person you're dating and have monies. I thought it was the money bit that was the important bit, like the sugar bit. I mean, the daddy bit's important for being older, but like, I thought it was the money bit that was important. I'm not rich enough to be a sugar daddy, is the problem. A trophy wife. You see, yeah. I thing is, what's weird about the trophy wife concept is that I wouldn't want the archetypal trophy wife, because to me it wouldn't be much of a trophy. Okay, she looked great, but as you've seen from this, I want more things. Like, I've been out with people who look amazing but aren't that much good in the old bed, because the cuddly bit, that's... Oh, are we right? Kilobytes. Like, the being able to do the... Like, you can be good looking but frigid. So I'm looking for something that's a bit more... I'm looking for these things. So yeah, trophy wife wouldn't do it for me. Because is there a bit on here that's purely aesthetic? There isn't actually, is there? Words, focus, gifts, acts, money, touch, intellect. They didn't put aesthetics on there, which is weird as well. Some people really feel strongly connected to a certain sense of aesthetic. So a trophy wife would include a certain hair colour, height, boob size. Everyone might have their different opinions, but they would, the aesthetics would be involved in a trophy partner. What other people think of the aesthetics is important as well. What the rest of society tell you is the trophy. And to me, I've literally dated like people who have been, in my opinion, supermodel beautiful, and other people who have not been supermodel beautiful, but I've thought them quite attractive, and I've seen the beauty in them. And to be honest, when you get to know someone, you're like deeper into it, you lose that sense of aesthetic. Well, I do, and I see them as someone I love. So sometimes the imperfections or the idiosyncrasies become things that I learn to love about them.